terrorism in the UN conference, and they were really have a problem that people are converting to certain religions, and they are going to die themselves. So this kind of cyber terrorism is happening a lot, and what we do to tackle this issue. Access to inappropriate content, definitely. Not all the content is appropriate for the children. Some contents are, yes, appropriate for the children, but some contents are not appropriate for children, such as pornographic content, violent contents, and lot of drug contents available online. These are not appropriate for the children. Again, self-generated sexual content. This is something which we are really facing today, because the children are producing themselves their own images, their own nude images, to share with their friends, trusted friends, or their boyfriends or their girlfriends. But this become their life-killing contents, and also the child sexual abuse materials. We want to discuss that in the last part of this presentation, because I need your support in order to have a global response system for child abuse material. Of course, the next one is electronic addiction. Electronic addiction was not considered as a disorder until 2019 or 2018. I don't exactly remember. World Health Organization has declared that. But before that, it's it's just a behavior addiction. But today, that's been considered as a mental illness, a state of mental illness, the game addiction, porn addiction, the social media addiction. So I don't want to play game, but the time comes, I will move to my computer and play game. That's addiction. It's not that everyone who plays the game is not addicted, or everyone who watch pornography is addicted. No, I'm not with that. But some people say, hey, I don't want to watch pornography intentionally, and by heart, I don't want to do that. But some reason I am moved, I pull into this kind of content. That is the problem. That's how we call it addiction. What is the solution? How do we respond? Again, a couple of days back, one of my friends just called me and he asked me about the game addiction. He said, I don't want to take this child into a doctor, because this has happened to his friend. Their children taken to a doctor for game addiction. The doctor gives some pills to suppress his anxiety and his what you call interest on games. But what happened over a period of time? The child became gloomy. The child could not study. The child don't want to do anything. He just relaxed, sitting in the sofa, is doing nothing. So that type of problems are there. There are best practices to handle this. We need to bring that into our country. We need your support on that. So what are the basically 3 C's risk? Contents, contact, and conduct. So this is something which we have realized. What makes the child vulnerable on the cyber world is the inappropriate content, inappropriate contact, inappropriate contact. So if we manage to come to a situation where control or overpower the situation, I don't call it as control, because there is no control. I would say no one in the world today can control a child online. Probably you agree. Just put your comments. You agree or disagree. Put your comments on the screen. So I totally believe there is no way you can control a child. The only way to teach a child to overpower the situation. You agree with that? I want to talk about the predators. The predators are, as I discussed, when you are keeping access to when you are giving an access to a child about on the internet or cyber world, you are actually giving billions of people accessing your child. So that risk we have been find so far. My mentor actually from Interpol used to tell me is as good as you're keeping your child in a city, or in a bad city or a good city, whatever the thing. There are thousands of people. You're keeping a child there and you're coming out from there. The people can come and talk to your child. People can come and touch your child. Do you do that? No. So it's same like that. When you're giving internet access to a child, we need to think about this particular point. There are quite a lot of grooming happening in all part of the world. And India, we have a lot of issue. But to be frank, our government is not taking enough response to tackle this issue. So children online, their parents are not watching. There is no response mechanism. Children, anybody can access the children from the school, from the colleagues, from what you call classmates, as well as anybody they know online. They can contact your child with WhatsApp. So some people know how to tackle this. Yes, up to some extent it is safe. But when it comes to the normal people, the parents who have no knowledge about computer, these children are highly vulnerable. So they are sending gifts, they are sending calling unknown number from their. Sometimes they mask the number and calling. You know how to do that, and these kind of problems are quite heavily affecting our children. And also we have issues of the children online. When they are online, they know how to tackle the screens quickly. The parents, when they're passing by, they change the screen, and these children are highly vulnerable. Sometimes what happen, the grooming process, they are teaching the children how to bypass certain levels of the games. So the games are, there are games, PUBG and all those games. They're bypassing this. They're asking the children, they're teaching the children to how to bypass it, and they get hold of these children. Then they are asking, hey, send me your photo, I'll send you my photo. And that kind of problems. Coming back to the addiction, we have huge addiction issue. I mean, I would say a good percentage of youth and adult are addicted to pornography. And what again happened, that psychiatrists today is not solving or is not treating this with the international best practices. They are just giving some sort of medicine. Sometimes they're just asking them to do some meditation. But the real addiction, the real problem of cyber addiction is not addressed in this part of the world. We are building systems to bring the international best practices on that. So again, we are building communities to support us in order to take this to next level. I would say three A's of online addiction: anonymity, availability, and accountability. You are anonymous. Basically, when we are anonymous, you may feel that, hey, I'm doing something, but nobody knows what I'm doing. So in that way, what happens is they are basically feel like nobody's watching me, nobody's I'm not accountable, I'm not seeing that. So basically, I can do whatever I want. So this is how one reason of addiction is. The other one is the availability. Internet is everywhere today. The GBs and the high fast internet connection is giving easy availability, so that I feel like whenever I want, I access it. If it's a lower speed, I remember I was access internet in 1996. The speed was something like 10 kbps or 15 kbps. That was the speed at that time. So imagine of downloading a picture. You cannot think of downloading a movie. You cannot even think of that. So maximum you can do is downloading a picture. So the movie downloading and all is all latest stage. So the fast internet connection is bringing a lot of addiction. Lack of accountability. Again, accountability to the family, accountability to the society, accountability to yourself, your own soul is something which is bringing the addiction. Because today, after the COVID situation, you have nothing to do outside. You cannot go to your parents' house. You cannot go to your family, other friends' house. You probably is not able to do anything other than online. So you have no other option. You have something to come do online, which is a lack of accountability. So all these three A's basically bringing people together on a space, and they're addicted, and the addiction is quite heavy. Look at that in the mobile phone today. what is the solution? You cannot leave that mobile phone aside and do your job. Your job is connected to mobile phone. Your family is connected to mobile. Society, social life, everything today on mobile phone. So we are planning to build a digital detox center in Kerala, potentially in one of the tourist places. We are planning to bring the digital detox center, and I would call digital, what you call, reintegration center. We are planning to bring into in this part of the world, and we will be inviting you to be a part of that. It's a 10 days program or even 20 days program. So there are two type of program we are planning. So there it is not the mobile phone, it is not the digital life. It is to detox your digital, what you call, digital detoxification. So basically what happen is there you will be working on a team building programs, physical exercises, meditation, yogas, food cooking, your other interests, nature. Of course, COVID, is the problem. It's an obstacle today not to forward with that particular project. But after COVID, sure, we will start this one. We are already in discussion with a couple of resources on that. So digital detox is something maybe you will have only 1 hour or half an hour time on your mobile phone. So you, after all the time, you will have to work on the physical things. You may have to talk to people. You may have to write. You have to relax. You may have to do meditation, watch movies, or listen music or something like that. So we are also planning to bring a concept of power of now. Today there is no power of now. Power of now is basically to teach people to do to concentrate on what they're doing right now. So today you are driving and talking to people, exercising, watching movie together, working and chatting. So we are trying to teach them to concentrate on power of now. If you're sitting relaxed, can anybody sit today in a chair and relax for a half an hour, do nothing, think nothing, think about your very positive, ambitious things, except, how can you sit in a chair, do nothing without your mobile phone? So this is, a lot of people are struggling on this. So we are also planning to teach the power of now. So this is how you overpower the cyber world, because cyber world, when you are working on the computer, you are distracted with the various things. You are distracted with potentially you are distracted with what you call chat messages, Facebook messages. You want to know, you posted a Facebook message yesterday. What's the status of that? You want to know all those things. So this is the distraction. So how can you keep one thing at a time? So I'm going to finish my job right now, and then I come back to my other. So this is also something which you are planning to teach. So this is only the way you overpower the internet. We call it social emotional skill development. So how much time we are spending with our parents, families, children? To be frank, including me, very less. We are not doing much. We are not giving much time to the quality time to our parents and children. And the society need us. The old days, the neighbors need us. Nothing happening in that direction. So we need to deliberately come up with that type of a living style in order to overpower the cyber world. Cyberbullying, as I discussed, but I just want to bring one particular point that in India, the cyberbullying become a huge issue, and again, the government doesn't take care about that. The other stakeholders, such as the educators, the teachers, the parents, they have no idea what is cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a quite big problem. A lot of suicide happen, and lot of children is having mental trauma on cyberbullying. We are working on that to establish anti-cyberbullying policy in India. Last year in 2019, we had a conference in Delhi only about cyberbullying, and I really shocked to see the statistics. There are a lot of children, and the problem is no data is available in order to understand the ground reality. So empower children, the parents and the caregivers, school authorities, digital technology companies, media providers, and social services. They have the responsibility to empower the children, but it's happening the other way. Parents and caregivers must develop socio-emotional skill, as I said, resilience program to empower your children online, which is really missing today. And of course, we need to give the technology very carefully. Otherwise, what happens is the technology will overpower the child. Instead, we have to teach a child to overpower the technology. That's what we need to come up. If you ask me, do you have a tool? No, I don't have a tool. I have a strategic approach. We develop strategic approach in order to help the government, in order to help the schools, in order to help the parents to overcome. I haven't developed that myself, but it's already available as a best practices globally. We need to take and implement in the country. That's what we are doing. Right. So now I'm totally taking it a new portion of my discussion today, because I know that in front of me a lot of cybersecurity specialists are there. Now I have an appeal, I have a plea to the cybersecurity specialists. Do you know that there's a huge trend on the child sexual abuse materials online? The children are being abused online. How? Because their photographs, their nude images being photographed, they're in a sexual act being photographed and sold to the interesting abusers around the world. This is a huge issue. I'll just give you a couple of statistics. Volume of CyberTip. CyberTip is kind of an organization in US who under the NICMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They receive cyber tips by telephone that, hey, I found child abuse material. Child abuse materials are normally called child pornography. That type of a materials online. So we need to take down. So child pornographic materials are basically around the world is illegal. It is very punishable by law. So we have found a lot of these kind of materials around the on the cyberspace, particularly on a dark web and social media, and also the instant message like in what do you call WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I would call WhatsApp is a dark web. So because they have end-to-end encryption, nowhere it's stored, and it is very difficult to track WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is allowing people to share the child abuse materials, and no one in the world able to track it. So those kind of Telegram is another one, and they allowing people to communicate with the end-to-end encryption, and it's difficult for anyone to crack that details. So these kind of reports, if they find, they basically inform the NICMEC, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they take down these contents. And that taking down this content was happened. The reporting was there 1.1 million reports in 2014. That became 4.4 million reports in 2015. And unofficially, I came to know that it is more than 10 to 20 times more after the COVID. Because in COVID days, it is huge, digital revolution happened around the world. That way, these contents quite heavily spread all over the world. And 8.2 is reported in 2016. Bad news, in India, we don't have enough reports to publish on that. We have no mechanism to tackle that. The government says they have a mechanism. To be frank, we don't have established best practices to tackle our children abuse online. We are behind of that. We are pushing it, and the good thing is Kerala government, with the help of Interpol and the other international agencies, Mr. Manoj Abraham is really good, who done this particular project. Fantastic job Kerala has done. But when I come to say that in Indian government from the Delhi, because Kerala is a small state in cyber world, there is no state, there is no country, there is no border. It's a borderless crime. So if I give you an example, as a Singaporean citizen, I forget about what country I'm mentioning. A Singaporean citizen traveled to Malaysia, sitting in Malaysia, abused a Filipino girl. Okay, and they recorded the video, traveled back to, for example, Sri Lanka. Sitting in Sri Lanka, he uploaded this video into a Pakistani web server, and using potentially a UAE VPN. Okay, and somebody sitting in USA using a Netherlands VPN downloaded all this. A Singaporean citizen sitting in Canada using a Netherlands VPN server downloaded this video into his computer. So the police caught. Now tell me which country's jurisdiction is applied. Where do we get arrested? Who is responsible for that? We have a big issue. This is called harmonizing the international law. We need to harmonize the law, but our government, strictly speaking, they said no. We don't want to share any information to the world for this particular issue, and they try to solve themselves. It is impossible to solve because the government is trying to take down the content. It is not possible because the website might be hosted in Gambia or Chad or any other country. The laws are very difficult to enforce it. So those kind of problems are existing. That's why even if the Kerala government, with the help of Interpol and around the agencies, have done a fantastic work, and that's why they have cracked down a lot of child abuse criminals in last couple of years, and it is very difficult for them to escalate or for them to take this one to the next level, because maybe the man sitting in Tamil Nadu doing this, they cannot go and arrest that person. They have to communicate that through the channel, and it is very difficult task. They can only do whomever doing this act in Kerala, but somebody can sit in Kerala using a device which is hosted in somewhere else can do this job. So they will lose the track of it. So it's a very huge program. We need support from you on that. I will come back on that slide. So production and distribution of child materials, you know how this production happened. This is happening quite heavily with various social media sites, various websites, even I would say Gmail is used. Google Drives are used to share this, because what happened? I was just testing, with the Google on one of the workshop. Google says they have the best system. Yes, anybody upload a child abuse material into Google, they track it, they find out, and they immediately delete it. But there are ways to convert the file structure into a model, and somebody else can decrypt it, or somebody else can deconvert that into child abuse material. So this will be a junk file. Google doesn't know what is this file. There are patterns for child abuse materials, but these patterns are not there because they change the entire file into a different pattern on a known way. And the other guy will have the key to decrypt it. I don't call it decrypted, but it's a different methodology of managing that. It is possible, and Google Drives are used for that. Google Drives are the most secure, or child abuse material is taken out from the Google Drive quite instantly. If you upload any child abuse material into Google Drive, immediately it is taken out. So this way, Google Drives, Dropbox, Box, everything can be used in order to upload, transfer child abuse materials. I want to tell you about one of the production methodology called WCST, Webcam Child Sex Tourism. Webcam Child Sex Tourism is one of the big issue what was happening in Philippines. Philippines was a hotspot on, I don't remember, an island. I just forgot, it was in my tip of the tongue. But okay, there was an island. There is an island in the Philippines, and they are in the whole island known to called WCST. There is a project done by Terry Des Homes, one of the NGO in Netherlands. They done a project called Sophia. Sorry, I just forget the name of the project. They're in a project, Sweetie. I'm sorry, Sweetie. The project was called Sweetie. They created a computer animated girl, and the girl was chatting with men. And you just go to Google and search Terry Des Homes Sweetie, you will get all the information. So what happened is thousands of people were connecting to chat with this girl and asking her to undress it, asking her to ask for a live show. This was happening. So the police, international police, FBI and Interpol has moved to the Cebu island in Philippines. They found every home. They have a very hi-fi connection, internet connection, broadband connection, and they have a camera setting. Some of them have a very big studio setup in order to keep their own children. Parents are keeping their own children in front of the camera to undress it, to make them nude, and these shows are available around the world. So it is cracking, but it is happening everywhere. This was a project in 2014 and 2015. What happened is, we thought this is not going to happen in other part of the world. And I actually literally seen this was happening in one of the city in India. In India, we have this happening in our own city. Parents are keeping their children in front of the camera, nude, and sometimes the parents are getting into the sexual act, and this being broadcasted around the world, and they're getting paid for this. This is something which is very ridiculous, and I cannot even imagine it. So the global community is working on that. We need your support on that. So trading these kind of contents, hacking, they hack into some computers and getting this information. They're selling it. Also, police and law enforcement agencies becoming the culprits. It's happened in one of the Norwegian country. I don't want to mention that because it's an Indian thing. So one of the Norwegian country, there was a police officer who basically in charge of keeping the sized computers in the police station. So what he used to do, he used to copy all the child abuse materials, I will call child pornographic material, into his flash drive. Then he used to run a ring inside the police organization. So what happened is, so he keep a file sharing system inside the police. They have an IP address in the police. So around the world, when the police look at this, they see, hey, there are child abuse materials in this particular IP address. There are child abuse materials happening there. So they might think this is the police organization. They might be doing that in a legitimate purpose. And this guy caught. Okay, so these are the things. Even police officers, even sometimes teachers also involved in this. And as I said, somebody hacking, the hackers also doing this. So it's another issue. I just want to tell you my one of the success story, which is potentially I'm so happy about that. In 2018, I presented a global child online protection comprehensive response system to Kerala police, and there I asked a question to the team in front of me. I asked a question: what is the smallest child we have seen abused in Kerala police? They said about 4-year-old children. There are nude images. There are child abuse images of 4-year children was available in Kerala. They say the Kerala police was size. I post this in Facebook among my group and about this story. So there's a guy called Kevin West. He is from the North Carolina police. He's an investigator of child abuse materials. He said newborn with drying umbilical cord still visible, the youngest I have seen. A child born, they cut their umbilical cord, they rape this child, video recorded, sold online. So these are the monsters living in this world. So while I'm wrapping, we need you. We need you to develop innovative, highly scalable, robust, and pervasive global 360-degree response system to support the global child online protection stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? UN, Interpol, FBI, and all the police organizations around the world are the stakeholders. We need a technical community, like hackers community, like the cybersecurity community, to find out what we can do together for the protection of our children. And there I completing my note. Maybe if we want to have a question answer, maybe we can take into the next slide. Thank you very much for listening to me.
If you have any questions,
I think there's one question, sir. Let me see. No, sir. I just saw a pop up, but I believe no more questions.
sorry, I was not hearing. Sorry. Okay, can you go ahead?
No, sir. I thought there was a question and answer. I mean, in the section there was one, but I think there's no question. So, sir, would you like to say any concluding words to our audience?
Okay, so we are not taking any questions, right?
Let me see the audience. Guys, you can post your queries in the Q&A. If you have any questions regarding to the topic, please feel free to put it out in the Q&A section, and Mustafa sir will answer you all the questions. Okay.
I think we are done, right?
Yes, sir. I think there are no more questions, sir.
All right. So I will do the closing note.
Sure, sir.
So first of all, thank you very much, team, for inviting me to this awesome session. And really, we have a wonderful team and wonderful audience. But I'm so sorry that I probably hurts this community, and I feel like you might have been. I just want to tell you one thing.
Sure.
First day I hear about the child abuse materials happening around the world in 2012, and I see this from a child, even a 14-year-old boy's computer. I didn't sleep on that night. I really literally did not sleep on that night. I was literally crying. Such a videos are produced, rape videos, crying children, such a videos are produced, and I was like really literally gone wild. I mean, I don't know how to say that. And I decided to do something in order to support the global children, support the global community, support our forthcoming generation, to do something for the protection. And that's how I moved to this arena. It is not a happy news. It's not a very pleasing discussion. The hacking and all, we can discuss and we can make a lot of fun out of it. But when it comes to the kind of dark world happening on the global space and the global cyberspace, it's something which nobody can think of it. As I said, how can anybody rape a newborn child with a drying umbilical cord which is visible? And that's people say, hey, you guys are exaggerating. No, it's not happening. It is happening. Probably you might have heard that from Mr. Manoj today morning, Mr. Manoj Abram sir. You might have heard that this is happening. It's not that somebody exaggerating. So we need to collaborate with the Red Team. We need to collaborate the global community of cyber hackers and ethical hackers, hands together to do something in order to protect our children. So I invite you, be contact with the Red Team. Let us put a strong team from here to the world to protect our children. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot again.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think there is one question which just popped up. So let me read that out to you. So, is
Yes.
there any anonymous link to report illegal activity anonymously? So the question is from Vaishak.
Yes, there is. I just share you because there's a cybercrime.in in India. Can you can report? You can go and report it. That's known to be a reporting center, but to be frank, I am not very convinced on their activities. I can tell you the enough best practices are not adopted. So should I go and answer that in the QA? Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir,
just
I
put
think
that
it's
in the
let
QA.
me also.
But what you can do is there are a couple of other agency. So when I'm saying there are the issues like child related, I'm only talking about child abuse related. If you find some hacking, is not the place for. I mean, India government, yes, that's a. So internationally, they have IWF, Internet Watch Foundation, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, In Hope Foundation. These are the agencies. They normally take out the contents of the child abuse materials around the world. But in India, we don't have enough information and enough mechanism. I'm sorry, we don't have that. So ultimately, we need to build it. So that's why we need to use our power. We are here to. We need to build something for our society, our government, our nation. We need to support our nation. So this is why we need to come up in this space. Yeah.
Correct, sir. Thank you for that, sir. So, any other questions, audience? Would you like to ask anything else from Mustafa, sir? I guess that's all the questions, sir. So let me also thank you so much for being here. So a warm thank you from the Red Team Hacker Academy for spending your time. Okay, so we have one more question. Why do you think our country gives less importance to these topics?
Um, I don't know, but understanding the real core understanding of this problem is not there with the government. We're trying to sensitize, we are continuously trying to sensitize till now, but the government somehow is not taking enough, attention to make sure this is happening. I'll just give an example because what happened is India does not have a national policing system. Our policing system is completely on a state based. What we have is a CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. The CBI is as a Central Bureau of Investigation. They're not law enforcement agency. They are investigation agencies. So what happened is the Interpol connected to CBI, and any report comes to CBI. CBI have to move that into the responsible states in order to take an action. Those steps are taking a lot of time to happen, particularly in our bureaucratic, very highly bureaucratic environment. So the government really don't know what's going on. So somebody have to go and show the government. Somebody have to sensitize the government to understand this is the core problem happening. So that's why we need to push. We need to sensitize among the government. Yeah, that's still the government doesn't understand. And also every 5 years, the government changes, and their priority is not this. Nobody complains. This is not happening at a what do you call, at a surface ground. It's all happen in a underground. So and also it's not very much reported. If anything happened to my child, I am not going to report it because I feel like the social stigma, social taboo, so that anything happen and my daughter might suicide. So nobody report that. So this is why the government is not getting enough reports to really feel the pain. That's why. Another question, I think, how to ensure the internet browsing on Facebook, safe social media. Yes, there are tools. There are good tools. Yeah, Google Family, you can use it. Microsoft Connect, you can use it. Family Connect, you can use it. Yes, up to some extent, it is safe, but don't think that these are the tools for 100%. So I remember I give us during one of my session I was talking to the parents about this parental control tools. So what happened is one of the parent was using it, and the child was basically sorry, the child was basically using a different method to connect and browsing in inappropriate content. Then parent will come back to me and say, hey, you told me that there is a tool, and my I installed that tool and it didn't happen. So these are not 100% a foolproof tools. Imagine of my son, which is 14-year-old. I cannot control him with these tools because he is much ahead of me technologically. He's know lot of cyber hacking tricks than me. Okay, so you cannot control your children with the technology. Yes, these are good for the children maybe under 12 years or even 13 years, but anything 13 and above, you slowly give them the real space. Again, teach them, overpower the internet, build resilience. They have to have a resilient community in order to have this. Yeah. So potentially, if you ask me, if you have a tool, yes, there are tools, but that's not 100% foolproof tools.
Absolutely, sir. As you mentioned, no, internet isn't secure. Like it's not 100% secure. There's always a 1% loophole everywhere. But still, we should take the necessary precautions to make ourselves safeguard. Yes, sir. So, any more questions, audience? Any more questions? Okay, let's just give another minute, so we'll see if they have any other questions.
Yeah.
I guess